Good morning. It's a fantastic day today. Or I like to think it is so far. Last night was pretty good. I actually do believe I've got my setup real good where I'm able to just kind of flow and speak with my audiobook. I was dicking around with some music first, trying to work on somebody asked me for a piano beat that, used for like a little cover of a song that I like, and I horsed around and put some vocals on and stuff, and I was pretty excited about that. But yeah, after I was done with that, I was able to kind of go and do my audio book, not like do it like, oh, I just fucking knocked it out real quick, but I got the first little section. I had to restart over because like it was sounding like crap, but the second run, or I guess this would be the third run, pretty clear, pretty good, not bad. So, this is one of the bright days. I mean, not physically. Outside it's pretty fucking gloomy, but yeah, every day it's just like, it's going to be off and on, off and on. And since I don't have a whole lot going on with the website or any of the other stuff, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm literally just working on the audiobook aside from that little offshoot right now. So I'm hoping to be able to get with that one guy coming up tomorrow and find a little bit more about music promotion and stuff like that, since he actually was in there and doing the music game for a while and he understands more. But even then, I gotta unfortunately wait until I get all my audiobook done before I can go full core push with the music. But man, after that, music videos for days, whole bunch of cool stuff. So, to make this a little bit more interesting and not just me talking about a bunch of baloney that people can't relate or give a shit about, I downloaded one book. I believe it was on sale on Audible. This was a little while ago, when I usually say I bought something, it was in the past. Like, of course it was in the past, I'm not buying it now. But no, it was usually like months ago, months ago, because I've saved all my money for literally just bills and getting ahead, and I will be spending it on one course for, okay, so, I don't know if I talked about this, but I was trying to get my book, not relaunched, but I called this company called Book Launchers, and told them my situation, but they said because of my financial situation, I'm not able to work with them, but they gave me two suggestions. One, which was a cheap course, and another one, which was a free course, and I took a look at both of them, and the paid course is pretty cool. $200, and it tells you how to like make a compelling book, and right from the get-go, and make it so it's just like you're planning on making something with it, like selling it and so forth. So I'm pretty jazzed about getting that one, and technically I've saved for several weeks now, and I'm no longer in a huge hole aside from having some debt, which my wife and I are going to start, putting to rest. Slowly but surely, we're at that point. Dave Ramsey strategy: get $1,000 in your emergency fund first, that is there exclusively only for if shit comes to shit, and we're gonna be there about now, and then we get to knock all those bills down, and that will be all gravy. But one of the books that I got was, I don't even know what it's called, I just like the picture of it. It's like a Unlock Your Future or something like that. And I didn't realize but it was like a book on fear, which is interesting because it's just like, I've been there. Like, I've had situations where I was apprehensive about taking certain actions because of like, the fear of it. And I think that's kind of why I wouldn't do a lot of the things that I was doing. Like, I had a couple of those turning points for a lot of my development, and a lot of times where I had something that I didn't think was that great, and I guess it took a little bit of confidence in myself to just say, okay, I'm gonna put this out there, good or not, you know. But I've kind of gotten a little bit over that. I don't know, you can be a little bit over that. You're either over it or you're not. Man, sorry for that bullshit. But you just, I don't know. You kind of get over that fact, and once you have a greater purpose, you know what, let me just say it from the book's perspective. So, according to the book, you never get over fear. You just find a way, you just find something that's more important than the fear. So, he goes over in chapter 1, and I was going to be doing a book review on this. I haven't done any book reviews yet. I was hoping to do the one on that first one that I read, but I can't remember what the name of the damn thing is now. But, you know, ever since I lost my notes, I was just like, maybe I'll get around to it in a little bit here, because I don't want to take a several hour fucking session of just trying to re-figure out my notes and stuff, because it'd be at very bare minimum about like 3.5 hours to re-establish my notes and be able to talk about it where I'm not giving misinformation or something. But the way they put it is, you find something that's more important than the fear itself. And he gives examples about, like, how does he say it? So in chapter 1, he gives a description almost like, just like an electrical wire. The flow of electricity will kind of go, you know, where you're guiding it and so forth. And just like how if you put too much stimulation or put too much energy through that, it'll end up bursting. And what he's trying to make a reference to is the amygdala, and how our brains, when they're agitated, get into this flight and fight mode, and that these overstimulations are, man, I'm botching this up. I mean, once again, it's been a couple days since I even listened to that part, so I'm not really too sure how well I'm going to explain this. But, God, here. Man, I wish I could pause this just so I can go. But this is an open camera. You know, with open camera, it's cool because you can just kind of like, and wait a second. But if I'm just doing the YouTube record like I am right now, then it's kind of like, I'm just talking, and if I don't know what I'm going to say, then I'm just going to be like, but just get to the point, right? The fear apparently will never go away. I don't know if I believe that, because I think that there is a point where, well, let me think about my own personal experience. I want to write a book that's talking about, like, automating your life. I don't mean just like your habits and stuff, but like creating a creed for that in which who you are, and a design of your character, so that the decision-making parts of your brain can completely disengage, and you just function off of what your rational part of your brain came up with before, when you were thinking at your most logical state. Am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that, you know, you don't have fear when you're confident. Because when you're confident, you know exactly where you're heading to. Not like bolstered confidence or some bullshit that, you know, people hype themselves up to, but just like a solid confidence. You know where you're going because you just see the path, you know. You're looking over the sunset, and you've been there before. You know that over that mountain is like your destination because you've been there. But, you know, for somebody who might be following you, or the first time when you're traveling down that road, you might not. But you don't get afraid of going on that path after you've been on it. You know what I mean? So, it's about taking out the uncertainties. And a lot of that can be done by highly educating yourself. And beyond that point, it really is a bunch of personal experiences that let you really, really believe. Kind of like I was saying in yesterday's video. But I want to make a book that's talking exclusively about how, if right now I'm in my most logical state of mind, and I can see my path all along, well, I create constructs of things that make most sense of how I should act and why I should act and exactly why I should act. And then from there, during non-rational states of mind, or just as I'm going along and living life, I tap into those, and rather than make decisions on the spot, I just follow the creed that I've pre-established. And naturally, you don't know everything that's going to come up in your life, so if a situation happens that you haven't pre-qualified and figured out what you're going to respond with, then you add that as part of your repertoire, and then over time, you infallibly create who you are, and you just act upon that, which doesn't require anything except for the routine. So you take all of the decisions out of life, well, you do in a way. You make the decisions, you make them the best you can, and then you take the decision-making process out after you've already established that. I should probably make a separate video on just that, because that, now that I think about that, that's like a bigger concept. But as I said, I'm just like, my goal is to just make this shit happen every single day. So whether or not these videos are super on key or whatever, but that'll give me some ideas, right? But I gotta get to work, so take care.